Hey everybody, Will from Holdfast Marine, your local boat shop, and today we're going to give you the top 5 new boater mistakes. Number 1, failure to put in your hull plug. I can't tell you the amount of times a customer has called me and said, I sunk my boat at the boat ramp because they forgot to put the hull plug in. Guys, this is an incredibly expensive mistake that you can avoid. Every single person should do a visual inspection around their boat. Walk around the entire outside of the boat in a staging area, or just kind of pull into where you're going to launch your boat out of the way of everybody else and get yourself ready for the day. For you first-timers out there, sometimes it's a little bit helpful to leave yourself a note on the console of the boat so that as you're staging and getting ready, hopping on and off the boat with your gear, you'll see that note, put your hull plug in. Or maybe stick it inside your vehicle, tape it right to the dashboard, make sure the hull plug's in, until it becomes muscle memory, and then you really don't need that sticker anymore. Number 2, panicking at the boat ramp. The first time you're launching your boat can be extremely nerve-wracking, very stressful, and even for an experienced guy like myself, it's still very stressful to do. Take a deep breath, calm down, and take your time. That's really the best advice I can give you, is to just remain calm. Ignore what everybody else is doing. If somebody's yelling at you, ignore them. If there's people out there with their cell phone, ignore them. Take your time, learn from your mistakes, and really, some important advice I should give you is if you're going out with your wife or your children or your friends or something like that, leave them off to the side. Don't ask them to help you unless it's a very simple task. Don't be asking your wife to back the trailer down the boat ramp. I've seen more fights at the boat ramp, husbands yelling at wives, wives yelling at husbands, friends yelling at everybody else. Leave them out of the equation. Just do it yourself. Maybe just have them tie the boat up to the dock or hold on to the boat or whatever. You're the captain. You do most of the work. Number 3, not having the proper or required by law gear on your boat. A lot of first-time boaters don't have the required gear on their boat. And like I said, either that's by law or by common sense. By law, you must have 1 life jacket per passenger on your boat, and those life jackets must fit them. If you have an oversized person or an undersized person or children, those life jackets must fit those individuals. You do not want to be pulled off the water by the environmental police or the Coast Guard or the harbor master because you don't have enough life jackets on the boat. You can get fined for this, and the fines are not cheap. Another thing you should have on your boat is at least 2 signaling devices. One recommendation I would give is to have some type of flares on your boat so that you can send up an emergency distress signal. They work in the daytime, they work at night, and they're very handy to have. The other thing would be some type of strobe light or other bright signaling device so that if you're in the water or your boat's going down, people can see you. I always really like to recommend that everybody, whether you're on a lake or in the ocean, you should have a VHF radio of some kind. Channel 16, sometimes you can still reach the Coast Guard even though you're on a lake. Have plenty of spare line on your boat. This really helps for having an extra line for docking, for rescue, for towing if you yourself have to be towed or somebody else has to tow you. It's kind of like always having jumper cables in your car. Having extra lines on your boat is a huge help. And you want to buy those lines from a reputable company like Hamilton Marine, West Marine, Boat US, or you can call me and I will make you custom dock lines for your boat. One of the last things is, and I'm going to go over this in another video, is filing a float plan. A float plan is a piece of paper that pretty much tells somebody else where you're going, how long you're going to be, when you're coming back. This is one of the things that I do every single time I go out on my own boat. I leave it with my wife. Sometimes I'll file it with the Coast Guard. I'll text it to a friend, just so somebody knows roughly where I'm going to be, how long I'm going to be out there, where the dock or the boat ramp that I'm leaving from, and maybe even the boat ramp that I'm coming to, if it's another ramp or marina or whatever. Sometimes it's as simple as putting up a Facebook post. Hey, I'm going out on the boat today. This is where I'm going. If you don't hear from me, LOL, hashtag, whatever. You can do that too. So, like I said, we're going to go over the float plan in another video. But let people know where you're going. Number 4, overloading the boat. This is one of the most common instances of swamping, capsizing, sinking your boat. Even an empty boat may have very little freeboard space. Freeboard space is that area between the top of the gunnel and your water line. It is very easy to overload a small boat, either with people, gear, extra fuel. So you should really keep in mind your boat's maximum load capacity. That's going to be on a placard, which is usually like a silver color and yellow, somewhere on the interior of the boat, on the console, inside the cabin. And that's going to tell you how many people you can have on the boat, how much weight you can have on the boat, and what is the maximum horsepower that boat's transom will take. If you don't have that placard, you can contact the boat manufacturer and ask them what that capacity is. I highly recommend having the placard on there. There are some boat companies that will send you a new one. And the information that you're going to want to give that person on the other end of the phone is the hull identification number, which is on, for you newbies out there, the back right-hand side of the boat. It's going to be stamped right into the hull there. And you give them those numbers, and that will tell them when your boat was made, so on and so forth, what it was made out of. And that's a super big help. Number 5, docking your boat. This causes a lot of controversy out there. And there's a lot of different videos and topics on this. When docking your boat, you really want to take it slow. You may want to come into that dock like Captain Ron, full throttle, and just cut that wheel and right up to the dock. In reality, people aren't going to be calling you Captain Ron. They're going to be calling you Captain Crunch because you're going to slam into that dock. Wind, tide, and available space play a huge factor in how you're going to dock your boat. For a first-timer, this is just as nerve-wracking as launching or retrieving your boat at the boat ramp. Take your time and go slow. Use that throttle sparingly. Bumps in, bumps out. Don't be hammering down the throttle, forward and reverse, forward and reverse. Go slow. Be methodical about it. If you have to take a couple of laps, then so be it. That's what you have to do. Make sure you put your fenders out for your first-timers out there, because you don't want to be smashing into that dock. Because then you're going to be calling me, and I'm going to bill you $5 grand to repair that huge crushed-in spot on the hull of your boat. So that's it, everybody. The top 5 mistakes most beginning boaters do. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button, please hit the like button, and the little bell notification up in the top-hand corner. I'm going to be coming out with a bunch more quick boater safety tips in the future. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I hope everybody's having a really happy new year, and we'll see you guys in the next video.